Hello students, how are you? We were studying chapter 2 of history of your class from hunting gathering to growing food. And today we'll start part number 2 of this chapter. And let's understand first of all the historical sites in India with the help of map of India. So dear students, let's start part 2 of this chapter. With this map, some important archaeological sites are there in this map. This is the map of India. Let's understand the directions. Here it is north direction, south, east and west. See, first of all we'll find the Paleolithic sites. Bhimbetka Paleolithic sites are found here. Rock paintings are found here which shows early life, the other activities like dance, etc. It is situated in Madhya Pradesh. And after that, Kurnool caves, very famous Kurnool caves. These caves are famous for their Paleolithic sites, and traces of ash have been found here. It suggests that people were familiar with the use of fire. So you have to remember this point. Kurnool caves, right, are the sites where the evidences of fire have been found, and the people used to means familiar with the fire, and different uses of fire were there, like they used to use the fire as source of light, right, source of light. Second, roast, they used to roast meat to scare away animals and to escape from cold themselves. So this is about Kurnool. So Kurnool is situated in Andhra Pradesh at this time, and Hansgi, it is also a Paleolithic site situated in Karnataka, Hansgi. And after that, we are coming to the megalithic sites or Neolithic sites. So first we'll see megalithic sites. Brahmagiri in Karnataka, it is megalithic site, and one is here, right, Adi Chanarur. This is also it is in Tamil Nadu. And after that, megalithic sites, then Neolithic sites. Mehergarh, situated in Pakistan, very famous megalithic site. Burj Home in J&K, Chirad in Bihar, Koldi Hava and Mahagadhan, central India, Daujali heading in northeast India, and Payampali, southern India, Hellur, Karnataka. So these are the important sites. We have discussed Paleolithic sites, Neolithic and megalithic sites. Imamgam, famous for villages, and Mumbai and Kolkata, these are the modern cities. So I hope that you are understanding. So this is the map. Let's come forward in this chapter. Next topic is a changing environment. Around 12,000 years ago, there were major changes in the climate of the world, with a shift to relatively warm conditions. In many areas, this led to the development of grasslands. Means due to the change in the conditions of the environment, so different kinds of changes occurred in the topography also and different areas also. So this was the development of grasslands. This in turn led to increase in the number of deer, antelope, goat, sheep and cattle. Why do you understand? Because in the grasslands these kinds of animals, right, got their food. So it has animals that survived on grass. So the number of these kinds of animals increased. So those who hunted these animals now followed them. Means in particular area where is grassland, okay, and here the number of animals increased. So the people, those who hunted the animals, right, started to follow them towards grasslands. So it is likely that this helped people to start thinking about herding and rearing these animals themselves, so that they could fulfill their needs, right, from their animals. So fishing also started in this period. Fishing became very important because fish is used as major food. Next is the beginning of farming and herding. In this way, means after the increasing in the number of animals and grasslands, so this was the beginning of herding, farming also. So this was also a time when several grain bearing grasses including wheat, barley and rice grew naturally in different parts of the subcontinent. Men, women and children probably collected these grains as food and then learnt where they grew and when they ripened. This may have led them to think about growing plants, right? Then they started to grow plants. In this, the people became farmers, right? When they started to grow plants and crops, so they became farmers. People could also attract and then tame animals by leaving food for them near their shelters. So the first animal to be tamed was a wild ancestor of the dog. Means dog was the first animal, right? Became pet. People encouraged animals that were relatively gentle to come near the camps where they lived. These animals, such as sheep, goat, cattle, and also the pig, lived in herds, and most of them ate grass. Often, people protected these animals from attacks by other wild animals. So, this is how they became herders. So, in this way, in this topic, we have discussed about how the people became farmers and how the people became herders, right? When they started to keep animals and when they started to grow the plants, they became farmers, okay? And when they started to keep animals, they became herders. Domestication. What is the domestication? When we started to keep pet or herding animals, right? So this was called domestication. It is the name given to the process in which people grow plants and look after animals, right? Look after animals. Very often plants and animals that are tended by people become different from wild plants and animals, because now you can observe at your home, right? Different kinds of plants, right, are there at your home. So these are different from the natural vegetation found in the forest. This is because people select plants and animals for domestication. So whatever particular plant we want, only we carry and we grow it at our home. For example, they select those plants and animals that are not prone to disease and useful for them, okay? So in the same way, right, seeds from selected plants are preserved and sown to ensure that new plants and seeds will have the same qualities. Amongst animals, those that are relatively gentle are selected for breeding. As a result, gradually domesticated animals and plants become different from wild animals and plants. For example, the teeth and horns of wild animals are usually much larger than those of domesticated animals. So domestication was a gradual process that took place in many parts of the world. It began about, you have to remember this, 12,000 years ago. Virtually all the plants and animals produced that we use as food today is a result of domestication. Some of the earliest plants to be domesticated were wheat and barley, which are very important crops at this time. We use wheat, rice, barley, etc. The earliest domesticated animal includes sheep and goat, along with dog. Now, a new way of life. We'll study about this topic. It's a very small topic. Now, new way of life. If you plant a seed, you will notice that it takes some time to grow. This may be for several days, weeks, months, and in some cases, years. So, when we think about it, when people began growing plants, it meant that they had to stay in the same place for a long time, looking after the plants, watering, weeding, driving away animals and birds till the grain ripened, and then the grain had to be used carefully. So, this is the way in which grain was used. As seed, it was used, as food, it was used, and as gifts also. The people used to give, right, to other people and stored for food in their homes. As grain had to be stored for both food and seed, people had to think of ways of storing it. In many areas, they began making large clay pots, or wove baskets, or dug pits into the ground. So, dear students, this was the part of this chapter. Second part, we discussed about some places with the help of the map and several topics. I hope that you understood. If you have any doubt, you can ask me by writing in comment box. I will give the answer. Thank you.